Greetings, everyone. We're very happy to see you again on The Elderly Way, a channel dedicated to sharing health and lifestyle knowledge specifically for middle-aged and older adults. Today, we're going to talk about a topic that might seem very simple: storing food in the refrigerator. For many people, it's a given. If you want something to last longer, just stick it in the fridge. But the truth is, not all foods are suited to cold environments. Some types of food, when stored in the refrigerator, not only lose their flavor but also their nutritional value, and in some cases, their chemical structure can change in ways that aren't good for your health. This is especially important for older adults. As we age, our ability to digest and absorb nutrients tends to decline. That's why preserving the nutrients in our food is crucial. Many studies have shown that storing certain foods the wrong way, even accidentally, can lead to the loss of essential vitamins, minerals, enzymes, or antioxidants, which affects both the quality of our meals and our long-term health. In this video series, we'll go over 12 common foods that should not be kept in the refrigerator, divided into two clear parts. We're not going to rely on guesswork or opinions. Everything will be explained with scientific data and paired with proper storage tips that you can easily apply in your daily life. In part 1 today, we'll take a closer look at the first 6 foods. Some of them are staples in the kitchen, while others might seem harmless but are significantly affected by refrigeration. And very likely, after watching this video, you might feel inspired to reorganize a few things in your fridge. Before we dive in, we'd love to hear from you in the comments. Where are you currently living? How old are you this year? Have you ever put something in the fridge and then realized it didn't taste as good afterward? We carefully read and respond to every single comment, because here at The Elderly Way, everyone who follows the channel is part of a community that values healthy living, proactive living, and informed living. If you find this content helpful, don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell, so you won't miss part 2 or other practical health topics we'll be covering. Now let's get started with the very first food, a kitchen staple that's often misunderstood when it comes to storage. 12. Potatoes. Why you should store them in the refrigerator. Potatoes are one of the most widely consumed and nutritionally rich root vegetables in the world. For older adults, they are an easy-to-digest source of carbohydrates and also provide potassium, vitamin B6, vitamin C, and fiber, especially when eaten with the skin. However, not everyone realizes that storing raw potatoes in the refrigerator can trigger certain unfavorable biochemical changes, particularly when the potatoes are later cooked using common methods like frying or roasting at high temperatures. When potatoes are kept at very low temperatures, especially below 41 degrees F, 5 degrees C, which is typical for most household refrigerators, the starches in the tubers start to break down into simple sugars like glucose and fructose. This process is known as cold-induced sweetening. Although it's a natural physiological response, it significantly alters the flavor, texture, and chemical reactions that occur during cooking. Potatoes may develop an unintended mild sweetness, which can throw off the balance of dishes like mashed potatoes, soups, or stews. More concerning, when these sweetened potatoes are fried or roasted at high heat, above 248 degrees F or 120 degrees C, the simple sugars react with an amino acid called asparagine to form a compound called acrylamide. Acrylamide has been classified by the International Agency for Research on Cancer, IARC, as a Group 2A substance, probably carcinogenic to humans, based on animal studies. It's commonly found in starchy foods cooked at high temperatures, such as French fries, burnt toast, and roasted coffee. While the amount of acrylamide in a normal serving of fries isn't enough to cause acute toxicity, food safety organizations like the European Food Safety Authority, EFSA, and the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, recommend minimizing acrylamide in the daily diet, especially for older adults who face higher risks of cancer, heart disease, or metabolic disorders. A study from the University of Idaho, USA, showed that potatoes stored in refrigerator temperatures can increase their free sugar content by up to 300% in just 2 weeks. This spike in sugar heightens the risk of acrylamide formation during cooking and also noticeably affects the taste and texture of the food. Cold sweetened potatoes may turn rubbery instead of fluffy and soft, and the slight sweetness can clash with the flavors in savory dishes. Additionally, cold temperatures increase the likelihood of sprouting if humidity isn't controlled, and exposure to light can cause the potato skin to turn green, an indicator of solanine production. Solanine is a naturally bitter glycocalloid. At high concentrations, it can cause digestive issues like nausea and stomach pain, and if consumed regularly over time, may even impact the nervous system, though this risk is low if the potatoes are properly handled. When it comes to storage, the key rules are: avoid very low temperatures, direct light, and high humidity. The ideal storage temperature for raw potatoes is between 45 degrees F and 50 degrees F, 7-10 degrees C. Cool, but not cold. Potatoes should be kept in a dry, dark, and well-ventilated place, like a shaded kitchen corner, a wooden drawer, a bamboo basket, or a cardboard box with air holes. Avoid storing potatoes in plastic bags or airtight containers, as they trap moisture and can cause mold or rot. Also, don't wash the potatoes before storing them. Any leftover moisture on the skin can promote mold growth. Another important tip: don't store potatoes near onions. While both are long-lasting root vegetables, they emit ethylene gas, a plant hormone that accelerates ripening and spoilage. When stored together, they can make each other go bad faster. Keep them at least 2 to 3 feet, 60-90 cm apart, especially if kept in the same cabinet or pantry. When properly stored, potatoes can last from 1 to 3 months depending on conditions. Check them weekly and discard any that are soft, sprouting, or turning color. If a potato has sprouted but is still firm and free of green skin, you can simply cut off the sprouts and use it. However, if it's soft, wrinkled, or has widespread green spots, it's best to throw it away. In short, potatoes are a healthy food when stored and cooked properly. For older adults, avoiding acrylamide and reducing food spoilage is especially important. Not storing raw potatoes in the fridge may seem like a small change, but it can make a big difference in meal quality and long-term health. Number 11. Honey. Should you keep it in the refrigerator? Honey has long been considered one of nature's most shelf-stable foods, capable of lasting indefinitely without the need for refrigeration. In fact, under proper storage conditions, honey is nearly imperishable. It doesn't spoil or go rancid, and refrigeration isn't necessary to keep it safe. In most cases, putting honey in the fridge is not only unnecessary, but it can actually lead to some unwanted changes in texture and quality. One of the most common effects of storing honey in the refrigerator is crystallization. That is, honey thickens and shifts from a liquid to a semi-solid state, sometimes forming fine white granules or becoming too thick to pour easily. This is a natural process that doesn't mean the honey is spoiled or nutritionally compromised, but it can be inconvenient and often mistaken as a sign the honey has gone bad. Crystallization happens more quickly in cooler environments, especially below 50 degrees F, 10 degrees C. Raw, unprocessed honey tends to crystallize faster because it contains more natural pollen and sugar particles. This is completely normal and doesn't affect safety. However, the issue isn't just about changes in texture. Every time a jar of honey is taken out of the fridge and exposed to warmer air, especially if the lid isn't tightly sealed, condensation can form inside the jar. This moisture can increase the water content of the honey, and in some cases, if it exceeds 20%, it can start to ferment. Signs of fermentation include a sour taste, gas bubbles, or off smells. Even though honey has strong antibacterial properties, thanks to its low pH, high sugar concentration, and natural hydrogen peroxide content. A moist environment can disrupt these protective qualities. Some studies, such as those from the National Honey Board, USA, show that honey is best stored under ideal conditions, at stable room temperature, around 64-75 degrees F or 18-24 degrees C, away from light, and without drastic temperature changes. These conditions help preserve honey's volatile compounds, enzymes, and biological activity. For example, the enzyme glucose oxidase contributes to the production of hydrogen peroxide, which is key to honey's natural antimicrobial power. Improper storage, especially exposure to high heat or fluctuating temperatures, can cause these enzymes to break down, reducing the overall quality of the honey. Honey also contains over 180 compounds, including organic acids, polyphenols, flavonoids, and other antioxidants, that contribute to its unique flavor and health benefits. While refrigeration doesn't immediately destroy these compounds, repeated temperature shifts and uneven crystallization can impact the mouthfeel, solubility, and even reduce the bioactivity of certain components. Darker honeys generally contain more antioxidants than lighter ones, and some of the compounds in darker varieties are more sensitive to heat and light fluctuations. In terms of use, crystallized honey can be restored by gently warming the jar in a water bath at about 104 degrees F, 40 degrees C. Avoid boiling water or microwaving it, as excessive heat can destroy the enzymes. This method brings the honey back to a liquid state without compromising its nutritional value. Also, consumers should avoid using a wet spoon to scoop honey, as introducing water into the jar can increase the risk of fermentation. In short, refrigerating honey is unnecessary and can reduce its quality. Honey is naturally stable and can last for years if stored in a sealed container in a cool, dry place away from sunlight and high heat. For older adults, using honey properly can offer added antioxidants, digestive support, and throat-soothing benefits. But those benefits depend on storing it in a way that preserves the integrity of the product. Number 10. Tomatoes, why you should store them in the refrigerator. Tomatoes are a nutrient-rich food packed with lycopene, a powerful antioxidant that may help protect the heart, boost immune function, and lower the risk of prostate cancer. For older adults, tomatoes are a common part of the diet thanks to their mild flavor, versatility in cooking, and high levels of vitamin C, potassium, and fiber. However, they are often stored improperly, and one of the most common mistakes is keeping ripe tomatoes in the refrigerator. The core issue lies in the refrigerator's low temperature and high humidity, which don't align with the cellular structure of tomatoes. Tomatoes have soft flesh, high water content, and active enzymes. When stored in cold environments below 50 degrees F, 10 degrees C, their natural respiration process is inhibited, while their internal cell membranes are easily damaged by the formation of tiny ice-like microcrystals. These microscopic injuries disrupt the fruit's texture, causing it to become mealy, mushy, or rubbery, losing its signature juiciness and firmness. More importantly, research from the University of Florida, USA, has shown that storing tomatoes at low temperatures can shut down the genes responsible for producing flavor and aroma compounds. Specifically, when kept below 54 degrees F, 12 degrees C, the biosynthesis of esters, aldehydes, and natural alcohols, the very elements that give ripe tomatoes their distinctive aroma, is significantly reduced. Some of these genes do not reactivate even after the fruit is brought back to room temperature. In other words, once a tomato has been chilled, it can never fully regain its original flavor, even if you let it recover outside the fridge. In terms of nutrition, refrigeration doesn't completely destroy the nutrients in tomatoes, but studies show that lycopene, the main antioxidant in tomatoes, can decrease by up to 60–65% if ripe tomatoes are kept in cold conditions for too long. Moreover, Lycopene's health benefits are most effective when accompanied by certain activating enzymes, some of which are degraded when the fruit structure is damaged by cold. As a result, even the remaining lycopene becomes less bioavailable. Some people believe it makes sense to refrigerate tomatoes that are becoming overripe to extend their shelf life. While this isn't entirely wrong, even in such cases, tomatoes should only be refrigerated briefly, no more than 1–2 days, and should be used immediately afterward to minimize quality loss. The correct way to store tomatoes is at room temperature, in a well-ventilated area, away from direct sunlight, with an ideal temperature range of about 54–68 degrees F, 12–20 degrees C. Avoid storing tomatoes in plastic bags or sealed containers, as their natural ethylene gas needs to escape. Otherwise, they may ripen too quickly or spoil. One simple tip is to place tomatoes stem side down. This helps reduce moisture loss and prevents bacteria from entering through the stem scar, which is a vulnerable point. If you have many ripe tomatoes at once, consider turning them into sauce or cooking and freezing them. This is an efficient preservation method that also enhances lycopene absorption through heat activation. In short, tomatoes are nutrient-dense but highly sensitive to storage conditions. For older adults, maintaining the quality, flavor, and nutritional value of tomatoes plays an important role in a healthy diet. Avoid storing tomatoes in the fridge unless absolutely necessary, and even then, only for a short time. Something as simple as storing them. Number 9. Cucumbers. Why you shouldn't keep them in the fridge too long. Cucumbers, also known as cucumis or garden cucumbers, are high water content vegetables that offer a cool, crisp, and easy-to-digest bite. For older adults, cucumbers are often used in salads, cold dishes, or eaten raw to help hydrate the body and provide vitamin K, potassium, and a small amount of antioxidants. However, many people have the habit of storing cucumbers in the refrigerator right after purchase, unaware that cucumbers are especially sensitive to cold temperatures. Improper storage can reduce their nutritional value, alter their texture, and cause them to spoil faster. Cucumbers originate from tropical and subtropical regions, which means they are not biologically designed to tolerate cold environments. Agricultural studies have shown that storing cucumbers at temperatures below 50 degrees F, 10 degrees C, for extended periods can lead to a condition known as chilling injury. When exposed to cold for several days, cucumber cells begin to break down due to metabolic imbalances and membrane dysfunction. Early signs include the skin turning dark or yellowish, the surface softening, and becoming more susceptible to bruising. If kept in cold conditions for longer, cucumbers may become mushy, develop watery spots, or start to sour, clear signs of early decomposition. A study from the University of California, Davis confirmed that cucumbers stored at 41 degrees F, 5 degrees C, for more than 3 consecutive days showed up to 50% cell damage. This damage led to loss of crunchiness, changes in flavor, and decreased retention of vitamin C, which is already present in only modest amounts in cucumbers. Additionally, overchilled cucumbers may suffer from internal bruising that isn't visible from the outside. It's only after slicing that one might discover the inside has turned soft, dehydrated, or discolored. Unlike hardier vegetables like carrots or bell peppers, which can tolerate cold better, cucumbers need to be stored at temperatures between 50 degrees F and 55 degrees F, 10–13 degrees C, which is warmer than the typical refrigerator setting. If you live in a hot climate and must refrigerate cucumbers, try to limit their time in the fridge to no more than 1–2 days, then use them promptly. Avoid placing them near ice, the refrigerator walls, or meat compartments, areas that tend to be colder and can damage the cucumber's tissues. For proper storage, cucumbers should be placed in breathable paper or mesh bags, not sealed tightly in thick plastic that traps moisture. They should be kept in a cool, dry area, ideally in the crisper drawer of the fridge, which maintains a more stable temperature and reduces exposure to direct cold airflow. Also, do not wash cucumbers before storing, as any leftover moisture can cause them to soften quickly or grow mold at the stem end. Wash only right before eating, and if you've cut a cucumber, wrap the unused portion tightly and consume it within 24 hours. One small but helpful tip: if you need to keep cucumbers longer, consider lightly pickling them or soaking them in vinegar. This traditional preservation method helps maintain texture and, if fermented properly, can add probiotics that support digestion, especially beneficial for older adults. In short, cucumbers are refreshing and hydrating, but they must be stored properly to maintain their freshness and natural crunch. Don't leave cucumbers in the fridge for too long, and especially avoid direct exposure to cold air or freezing temperatures. Something as simple as choosing a cool spot in your home or using the vegetable drawer in your fridge can help preserve the quality of cucumbers, prevent waste, and support your health. Number 8. Carrots. Important notes on storing in the refrigerator. Carrots are a common root vegetable with high nutritional value, especially rich in beta-carotene, the precursor to vitamin A, which supports eye health, skin, and the immune system. For older adults, carrots are often included in daily meals because they are easy to digest, mildly sweet, and versatile in cooking. However, the way carrots are stored significantly affects both their nutritional quality and appearance. Some people tend to place all the carrots they've bought directly into the refrigerator without paying attention to moisture and temperature conditions. This can lead to early spoilage or a decline in quality. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA, and various publications from the Institute of Food Technologists, IFT, carrots are highly prone to moisture loss if not stored properly in the fridge. When dehydrated, the surface of the carrot can become wrinkled, soft, or develop white spots. These are not mold, but a sign of tissue drying due to moisture loss. Carrots can also suffer from what's known as chilling injury if stored at temperatures that are too low, below approximately 30–36 degrees F/0 2 degrees C, especially for extended periods. Signs of chilling injury include a mushy texture, loss of natural sweetness, and a higher likelihood of spoilage during cooking. A study published by the University of California, Davis, also found that storing carrots in cold conditions without sufficient humidity can cause a reduction in vitamin C levels, an especially sensitive nutrient when it comes to storage conditions. Another important point: carrots should not be washed before being placed in the refrigerator. Excess water can cling to the surface, creating an environment where bacteria thrive, leading to softening or rotting, particularly around the stem end. Proper storage tips: store carrots in the vegetable drawer of the refrigerator, where the temperature is stable, around 39–45 degrees F/47 degrees C, and humidity is higher than in other compartments. If storing for more than 5–7 days, wrap carrots in a paper towel or thin newspaper and place them in a breathable bag. This helps retain natural moisture without causing sogginess. Avoid storing carrots near fruits that emit high levels of ethylene gas, like apples or bananas, as this gas can accelerate spoilage. In summary, carrots can indeed be stored in the refrigerator, but it must be done correctly to prevent dehydration, wilting, and nutrient loss. For older adults, keeping vegetables fresh, crisp, and nutrient-rich is crucial for a balanced diet. With just a few simple adjustments in storage methods, you can extend the freshness of your carrots without compromising their nutritional value. Number 7. Whole watermelon. Should you refrigerate it before cutting? Watermelon is a familiar fruit, rich in water and a key source of lycopene, an important antioxidant that supports heart health, protects vision, and fights free radicals. For older adults, it's a smart choice during hot weather thanks to its mild sweetness, easy-to-eat texture, and natural hydration benefits. However, Not everyone stores whole watermelons correctly, especially those who immediately refrigerate the entire fruit after bringing it home, even before it's cut. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA, and research from the Beltsville Human Nutrition Research Center, whole watermelons should be kept at room temperature until they are cut, unless the weather is excessively hot. Studies show that storing watermelons at around 68-70 degrees F, 20-21 degrees C, for 1-2 weeks helps maintain and even slightly increase the levels of lycopene and beta-carotene, two compounds that play a key role in cardiovascular and cellular health. The reason is that after harvesting, watermelon, like some other fruits, continues certain cellular metabolic activities. These processes help preserve or even enhance the antioxidant content in the flesh. Refrigerating the fruit too early slows down these beneficial changes. Also, typical fridge temperatures, usually 39 degrees F/4 degrees C or lower, can lead to a condition known as chilling injury. This may cause the flesh to become mealy, mushy, and lose its crispness. It can also result in translucent spots or indentations that significantly reduce its visual and textural appeal. Another important point: the thick rind of a watermelon can protect the inner flesh from microbial contamination at room temperature, as long as the fruit is whole and undamaged. In contrast, long-term cold storage, especially without proper humidity and airflow control, can lead to moisture buildup on the rind, making it more prone to mold growth on the surface. How to properly store watermelon before cutting: keep the fruit in a dry, cool, well-ventilated place, away from direct sunlight. There's no need to refrigerate it if you plan to eat it within 5-7 days. After cutting, any unused portion should be tightly wrapped or stored in a clean, sealed container in the fridge and consumed within 2 days. Avoid leaving exposed cut watermelon in the fridge, as it's more likely to lose moisture and pick up bacteria. Understanding how to properly store watermelon helps preserve key nutrients and maintain its freshness. Especially for older adults, this small step can make a noticeable difference in both the quality of meals and long-term health. Let's take a look at 6 everyday foods, from potatoes and honey to tomatoes, that many people are still storing incorrectly by putting them in the refrigerator. These mistakes don't just affect the flavor or texture of the food. In some cases, they can lead to a significant drop in nutritional value or even increase the risk of forming compounds that are harmful to your health. For older adults, the body tends to be more sensitive to even small changes in diet. The digestive system, immune response, and ability to absorb nutrients all tend to decline over time. That's why proper food storage isn't just a good habit. It's an essential part of maintaining long-term health and preventing chronic illness. Take potatoes, for example. When stored in the fridge, they can form acrylamide, a compound that many studies have linked to an increased risk of cancer when cooked at high temperatures. Or tomatoes. When refrigerated, they lose key enzymes responsible for flavor and reduce the body's ability to absorb lycopene, a powerful antioxidant important for heart health. These aren't changes you can easily see with the naked eye, but over time, they can impact the overall nutritional balance of a diet you thought was healthy. We're not suggesting you make drastic or complicated changes, but just by understanding which foods should and shouldn't be refrigerated, you can significantly improve meal quality, avoid waste, and preserve full nutritional value, especially during a time when your health needs extra care. In Part 2, we'll cover 6 more foods, including certain fruits and spices you may be using every day, that are also prone to losing nutrients or spoiling quickly when stored the wrong way. If you found this content helpful, please hit like on the video and subscribe to the Elderly Way channel to stay with us, as we explore practical health topics tailored specifically for middle-aged and older adults. And don't forget to share in the comments. Have you ever noticed your food changing smell or taste after storing it in the fridge? We're always here to listen and respond to your questions.